Until now, my videos have been pretty impersonal. I've done my best to present subjects with the rationality and objectivity I think they deserve, at the expense of being perhaps a little unrelatable as a human being. That works pretty well when you're reading from books and journals, but some things are best learned firsthand, and that is a far more personal journey. I hope you'll enjoy sharing one such journey with me over the next few videos. I'm nearing the end of a 25-hour train journey from England to Slovakia. This will be the first time in my life that I've been anywhere that wolves still exist in the wild.
Yeah, you can do that bit for me. Okay, so we're about 2 hours out of the study area now to meet up with the remaining 4 members of the group. Joining me on the train into it though is Lucas and Lucas.
The final leg of my journey by rail from Bratislava, just over the border from Vienna, to the Liptovsky Basin, about 280 kilometers east, is undeniably the most dramatic. It is around here that the climate zone of Europe fully completes its transition from maritime north to continental, and more snow than I've ever seen. The deeper we progress into Slovakia's interior, the more utilitarian and weather-worn anything anthropogenic appears. There is a harsh beauty to the frozen forests and lakes. For someone who has lived all their life in a country where biodiversity is all but obliterated in a concreted landscape of warning signs and safety fences, the station at Liptovsky Mikulas is a welcome change. What might be a mundane commute for the other passengers is, at least for me, an entirely new experience. There's no £1,000 fine for walking on the frozen tracks here. In fact, it's the only way to get to the platform. The 3 of us are the last volunteers to arrive, the rest of the team having already been working for between 1 and 2 weeks now.
Ah, there he is.
Driving us up to the base is the founder and chairman of the Slovak Wildlife Society, Robin Rigg.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, car is this way.
It seems much longer than 2 years since I last met him, and in that time some things have changed a great deal for the wolves of the Carpathian Mountains. A largely unanticipated change of legislation has resulted in no wolf hunting quota this year, and although it will benefit the species directly, possible socio-political repercussions in the longer term may be less predictable. The reason we've come here is, thankfully, far more straightforward. Over the next few days, I'll be learning to help survey the status of the local wolf populations, as part of the Slovak Wildlife Society's ongoing monitoring of the area's packs. Over time, this helps build a map of the constantly evolving and changing pack territories, and provides valuable insight into the genetic health of their individuals. As the last of the light fades, we arrive at our accommodation, sited just within the Low Tatras National Park. Though the nearby peaks reach up to 6,700 feet, I'll have to wait until the following day for my first view of them.
One that we'll be using most is the one
That view will have to wait a while longer, as venturing out into the mountains is inadvisable without equipment training and a thorough discussion on health and safety. Our guide for this induction also mentions how the local wolves seem to have been passing closer to the settlement.
Never saw them doing before. like crossing on a bridge or like on a small bridge, a stream. They usually avoid these man-made things. Wolves tend to avoid new things. That's their reputation of good. They didn't mind the toilets. They just went across the garden. It was absolutely new.
How close to the base have we had wolf tracks?
Few hundred meters.
Wow.
Although it may be tempting to link this observation with the recently suspended hunting quota, we're not jumping to conclusions. There are so many factors that decide a pack's movements, and many of them aren't anthropogenic. This is just one very small yet tantalizing snapshot of a much larger and very complex picture. The snowfall is unrelenting. It settles in place on us, on our gear, and on our own fresh tracks. Temperatures this week aren't expected to creep above freezing point. Yet the lower humidity makes it feel deceptively mild compared to the clinging damp of an English winter. That is until you stop moving and realize just how warm those burning calories are keeping you. It quickly becomes clear that there is a lot more to tracking than just matching a print with a picture. Today, we're going to learn some of the basics, but there have been entire books written on the subject. Once we're confident walking on the ice and packed snow without falling, we set out on our first short survey route, referred to as a transect. This is what we'll be doing for the next 5 days, walking along a predetermined route and recording signs of animals, specifically large predators, as well as collecting any biological samples we find. These will be used later in the year to assess the size and health of the local wolf packs.
Oh yeah, they're split here, so that really indicates wolf.
Within a kilometre of our accommodation, we get to start logging data. This series of vague scuff marks in the deep snow look nothing like the clear tracks on the printouts I was handed earlier, but our guide assures us that what we're looking at is wolf tracks. I've read plenty of times how wolves will follow single file in snow to conserve energy, but I'm still taken aback when the prints split, then split again at a small stream, revealing the crossing points of at least 3 wolves. On the other side, they rejoin once more and head up onto the ridge above us. With the occurrence logged, we resume our original transect. Although it's tempting to follow the pack to see where they had come from, I'm told that gathering data for the full length of the route is more important to the study. As the road winds further up the natural valley we are following, we're met with occasional signs of other species. There's clear signs of red deer nearby, some of them very recent. Their tracks are also recorded by us. It helps identify any changes in the area's prey density. By the time we rise above the valley side, the short afternoon has already begun.
So we're heading back to the base now. The weather on top of the ridge behind me is going to be too dangerous to do the entire transect on. The wind speeds up there are going to be a lot greater than they are even here.
There is little shelter up here, and the wind gusts strong enough to send snowdrift swirling back into the air around us. The tallest peaks choose to remain invisible for now. Making our way back down into the valley and the end of our first transect, we rejoin the trail left by our pack of 3 wolves from earlier.
Examining a little bit closer.
Though their vague tracks remain visible under cover of the canopy, the wind and snow have removed any distinctiveness that I can make out. Our guide explains that wolves will follow a generally straight line, whereas deer will wander about as they forage. At this point, I'm going to take his word for it. I still need far more practice to make any sense of what we're looking at here. Yet I can't help but look around me in wonder. While I slept last night, wild wolves were padding through the snow almost within sight of the lodge. Though objectively not unusual for such a location, this is the first time in my life that the ground I'm walking on bears the traces of large carnivores, separated from me by their natural aversion to human contact rather than a 20-foot steel fence. These mountains have an undeniable presence and abundance of life, and no meadow or forest in my home country will ever feel truly wild again. If you would like to take part in the next White Wilderness program, just follow the link in the video description to their website. There you can find the requirements for applying as well as background to the study and online shop. You can also support the work of Slovak Wildlife Society and other wolf programs through any item purchased on my own store. Use discount code THANKSFORWATCHING for 10% off your order. Once again, links are in the description. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to respond to them in the comments, and I'll hope to see you again soon for day 2.